Right, hello guys. Today we are doing the Arctic Monkeys tier list now that we've finally listened to all of their albums. It's been a bit of a journey. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, and I feel like it should be an interesting video, hopefully.
Yeah. So only our second tier list ever. So also let us know if we're just doing it a bit wrong, if we should format it differently, stuff like that. So let's get into it. The first album, Whatever People Say I Am. That's what I'm not. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. It's quite a long title, but
Yeah.
I think that's right. So this was like my first ever proper full listen to any Arctic Monkeys album, plural.
Mm.
And I thought it was incredible, to be fair. I remember giving it a 9, I think I gave it.
Yeah,
So
I really enjoyed it as well. It's probably, well, I don't want to spoil the video, but yeah, it's pretty going
go back and watch it if you want.
in S tier for me, I think.
Yeah, I think if you got to set like a sort of boundary, this has to be on the S tier, otherwise nothing else will be. Spoiler.
And I think like this style of music was defo influential in the whole sort of English music scene.
Yeah, I
when
think
it
it's
comes
what
out.
sort of characterises them mainly, like what people know them by. So
Yeah,
that doesn't just come about by accident. It's normally, the most impactful that does that to anyone else. So
yeah,
let's put it in the S tier.
that's an easy one.
Yeah. Bish, bash, bosh. Alright, then favourite worst nightmare.
Favorite worst nightmare. A lot of people feel very passionate about favorite worst nightmare. For me, I think it's good, but I don't think it's at the same level as their debut album. I'm going to call it that because I see CBA say the whole name. So I think for me, it is probably A tier.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think, like, for me, it's pretty sort of similar to what we were saying about the Strokes albums, where we put Is This It in the S tier, I'm pretty sure, and I think we put Room on Fire, maybe in the A or the B tier, to be fair, but like we did say that they're very similar. But it is kind of one of those things. It's just one of them was the first one, and the other one was kind of just another one to it, and it's like it loses its value when it's not the first, So
Yeah.
but it was still very good, so can't
I think
knock it too far.
the highs on it are like really, really high, like Fluorescent Adolescence and 505 are some of my favourite songs of theirs of all time. But then some of the other songs are a bit more forgettable.
Yeah, I feel like the momentum in the album's like not the same.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't fly past. Like sometimes you're kind of just waiting for the next big song, whereas in the debut album, it's just clean sweep.
Yeah,
all the way through.
it's more solid, more consistent all the way through.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think A is fair.
I can definitely agree to that. Oof. It was Humbug next, right?
I thought it was Suck It and See.
Or was it Suck It and See? No, I think it's Humbug and then Suck It and See.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. Humbug for me was not good.
Yeah, Humbug for me was Humbug.
Yeah. Bar Humbug to that.
But yeah, no,
Record.
the thing that interests me about this one is that a lot of people were commenting saying it is like one of their favourite Arctic Monkeys albums, like, and this, they took a new path and they like did something really out of the ordinary, and it was really creatively magnificent, and I don't know, I just can't grasp that. I obviously can accept it's different. I mean, that's just kind of quite obvious off of the first listen, but for me it wasn't like anything impressive in the same way. It was more just different, but not in a good
it
way.
lacked a lot of charisma that the first two albums had, I think.
It was a bit disjointed as well, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
It just didn't flow, yeah.
Even now, I'm a bit hazy on the whole album because afterwards I just had no urge to go back to it.
And to be fair, there's probably like a little tin of bias from both of us, I'd say, because of the fact we probably haven't really listened to it since, and we kind of just left a bit disappointed. It kind of like, when you got an expectation of, to at least follow some sort of level following the first two albums, some sort of standard, and it just didn't at all for us. I feel like, it just made it even more disappointing. So it's got to be one of the lower tiered ones for me,
I think
for
D
sure.
tier.
Yeah, I think if
in
we're
my
going to
opinion.
use the whole range, we've probably got to put it in the D tier.
Yeah. And again, we do it relative to only their other albums, not just
Yeah, of
like
course.
sort of music as a whole.
Yeah.
So this D is probably like an A in like, I don't know, some shitty artist discography.
Yeah.
No one's coming to my head at the moment, but like don't use like Lil Pump, but you know.
I wouldn't say that's a bad thing to use.
Yeah.
Alright. Suck It and See. What did you think about this one?
I thought it was a marginal improvement,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was enough to get it out the D tier.
Yeah, for me, I don't think the improvement really came in the form of it actually being better quality or like better written. It was more just my taste and preference. It was just less dark and less like, there's more melody to it, less just bass and drums, because I remember Humbug was just a lot of bass and drums, like there wasn't a lot of layers to the music. So I just thought it was a bit brighter in general, just easier to enjoy. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was actually a step up in terms of, you know, they transformed themselves into anything better or more sophisticated either. So I think going off of that, I definitely can't put it up by any more than 1 tier, if not even just keep it in the same tier.
Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd probably keep it in the D tier, I think.
I can definitely agree to that, because it's not enough of an improvement
No.
to like completely separate it, I wouldn't say. Yeah, we're going to put it in the D tier.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It gets what, like a C minus or a D plus. But
Exactly, yeah.
we don't do if, buts and maybes.
Alright, going on to AM.
AM, for me, another one of my favourites, I think. It's defo like a musical evolution. It's not them just like going back to what worked.
No.
They defo found a new sound. It was like sort of, there was some like heavy, like more industrial themes to it, and a lot of personality and charisma that the first ones had. So I
Yeah.
think S tier for me.
For me, it's either A or S.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it on the same level as their debut album, for me. I don't think I would have the same like emotional impact, but it was like a very well put together, well written album, like in terms of just the quality. It was
Yeah.
like a classy sort of progression.
Yeah.
So they kept some of their personality and charisma from the first album, but expressed it in just their more true way, because they were a lot older at the time, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just felt like a more matured version.
Yeah, I love it. It's got...
It just doesn't hold the same nostalgia and the same, you know, emotional connection. Just probably biased towards the fact that the debut album is their debut album, simply to put it that way. So
Yeah. No,
and I guess that's not fair, but it's kind of what happens a lot of the
I
time.
know, like, with the sort of like relatable aspect that they came with, especially on the first album. But for this
Yeah,
album...
and also we're only 20, so
yeah.
that's a big reason why the first album is
Yeah.
more relatable on the whole. So.
I feel like AM's just so like dense with like hits, you know.
It is, to be fair. It is,
Like
to
Do
be
I
fair.
Want to Know is like an iconic song, and then like you've got other like amazing songs, like in my opinion like Arabella is like an amazing song that they've got on that. It's just that for me there's so much to like on it, and they took risks, but I think they landed on this one, so I just
Cool.
think S tier.
We'll put
strongly.
it in the S tier. You have more reasons. You have more experience with the album, so I'll trust you.
Appreciate it.
And then going on to the most recent reaction. Obviously, you heard it beforehand. It was just me
Yeah.
reacting to it for the first time. So this is fresh in my head, obviously. So hopefully I don't get recency bias on this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, off of first listen, it definitely had similarities to The Car, which we're going to get into. But I think it had a bit more substance to it, in my honest opinion.
I agree.
There was more to follow in terms of a story. The Car was a bit too metaphoric at points, although this still was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino for me, it's got to be B.
I agree. I was
Yeah.
going to say, yeah, it's a B for me. I think
Yeah.
before we did the reaction, I probably would have said C or D, to be honest. But then when we did the reaction and I kind of focused more on the lyrical content of it, it actually improved it for me. I think at the moment, yeah, I'm feeling a B.
Cool. Alright, we're getting on to the ultimate,
The ultimate
the most
album.
recent album as well.
Yeah.
Alright, for this one, I've got to acknowledge the fact I did give it exactly the same rating as Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, so I can't really explain any reason to completely stray away from the same tier for that. But yeah, obviously I outlined some differences that I preferred in the other one, so
Yeah.
it's up to you whether you think it's appropriate to completely separate them, or if you think there actually is a reason to completely separate them.
I do feel like The Car is a C or a B. I think it lacks some, like, I want to say, like, memorability. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, we know what you mean. So
Yeah,
that's all that
like-
matters. But yeah,
Like sticking power. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I did like a lot of what they did on the album with like use of like the piano, and there was like a couple like fun songs like Jet Skis on the Moat and stuff like that. And it seemed like quite like an emotional sort of like goodbye almost
Yeah,
from the Arctic
definitely.
Monkeys. Don't know if it's their last album or not. So for that, there's a bit of like, this is their, they're going out, and it's like that just puts meaning onto it. That,
yeah,
but then can you judge an album just because it's like that? I don't know.
yeah.
So I reckon I want to put it in the C tier, to be honest.
For me, it's tough. I feel like I don't find it easy to say it's enough worse. It's like
Yeah.
very similar for me. For me, I'd probably keep it in the B tier.
Yeah.
Because one thing I can say about it is I definitely had a couple songs afterwards, like probably 3 or 4 that I was actually listening to quite a lot for like a good 2-3 weeks afterwards. So there was sticking power in that sense. Like
Yeah.
it was catchy. The instrumentals were very like dynamic as well, classy, produced very well.
True.
So for those reasons, I feel like it's harsh to put it down to C.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, it's just the impact of the lyrics and the story. That's the difference for me between the two.
No, I think B is fair. I
Yeah.
think you've taught me into it.
Fair enough. Well, we've left C completely void,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that's going to annoy you guys, but I mean, I guess there's just a big difference between the bottom two
Yeah.
and the rest for us. So
I feel like it's harsh to either Humbug and Sucking Seat to put one of them above the other. I feel like
yeah, no, for me they were. It was all a blur of two reactions, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I'm being harsh, it just I was a bit uninspired after both. I was a
Just-
bit disappointed after both.
Yeah, just
so-
didn't enjoy them. They were just not enjoyable for us. I think maybe actually listening to it in the reaction form probably hurt my opinion of it, because like if I just listened to it one time, kind of like glossed over it, not really gone at it with like a magnifying glass, maybe I would have listened to it 5 or 6 times, and then by then
Yeah,
found things that I'd liked about it. Whereas
That's
this,
true.
where I kind of had to just, like, I was trapped with it, basically, made me probably dislike it more.
yeah,
So I do feel harsh, and if it's your favourite album, I'm sorry that we put it in the D tier, but
yeah.
it's in the D tier.
Yeah, I feel like in those reactions, especially to Hamburg, because it was it was the first one we had out of the two, and more disappointment as a result, because obviously we had such high expectations.
They
Before.
they came out the gate strong.
Yeah, exactly, with the first 2 albums. So for me, I feel like I was like building negative momentum. Each song went by, and it was like a compounding effect of just I was looking out for the things I didn't like at that point, because it was just angering me.
Yeah.
It just wasn't changing.
We were
and I
shitting
wasn't
on
happy
it.
with it. So it wasn't the most professional reaction of us, probably, but yeah, we were
We're
being
not
honest, and that's how we
professionals.
felt at the time. We're not
Yeah.
professionals. So yeah, I can't really give an honest reason from my experience why that should be any higher for me. But you guys tell us if we're completely bonkers, because I know a lot of you literally like the album a lot. Like even some of you say it's your favourite one. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
still
I feel
intrigued to hear something that will turn my head and make me listen to it multiple more times and see. But
like, I feel like our
now
placement.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah. Our placement of The Car and Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino is so much higher than them. Might cause some controversy.
Mm.
I feel like we've gone safe with the S and the A.
Yeah,
I feel like that's agreeable.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I feel like we've gone a bit bold
Yeah,
down low.
I think a lot of it is taste, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say we've come from like a background of listening to lots of rock music, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people who are Arctic Monkeys fans, that is what they've listened to, just in terms of genre, like for a lot of
Yeah.
their lives. So some of the more gritty stuff with just more bass and drums, less like melody and layers, like Humbug, is definitely closer to rock. I think that could be a difference. So yeah, let us know if that's also what, if you just don't really appreciate the sort of genre that they took with the last 2 albums.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys aren't too angry. But also, hopefully, you can have a little conversation in the comments with each other and with us. Let us know what you think. Have some debates. That's what it's all about. And then, yeah, any suggestions for more albums because we're ready to move on, new journeys, let us know. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video.
Yeah.
Hit the dislike button if you thought it was shite. But that would be quite disrespectful, if I'm honest.
A bit rude. No, it's not shown on YouTube anymore, so we don't even know.
And yeah, you know what else to do with the bell.
You know the drill. You watch other YouTubers that tell it how to do it, so just fucking do it, innit?
Yeah. In a bit, guys.